Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Capes and Lunatics Book Club, Episode 1. It's me, Phil, and with me is...
It's Lilith, the Lunatic. So I guess you have to be a cape today, so bring me in.
Me and Lilith, the readers of our podcast.
Everybody's a reader, it's just everybody else has kids that are wide awake at 10.
Yeah, everyone else is first. I mean, me too, but, everyone else is focused on the comics.
So what's in our book club for episode 1? Something timely, I hope, Phil.
Oh, of course. The classic American Gods.
Nice paperback.
Yes, I think this is a reprint of the 10th anniversary edition where they put everything in, even stuff he cut out. So
nice. I was gonna ask you which one you got. I've got both, the original and then the 10th anniversary. I also have the 10th anniversary audiobook, which I started listening to on the way to work this past week. So
of course you have multiple versions.
I really enjoyed Sandman. That's where my love of Neil Gaiman came from. So I like Good Omens too. So everything he does, I really like. I enjoy. I love his nuances, and his take on American culture is just very subversive and refreshing, and it's an outsider's perspective. So I just enjoy it. Well,
yeah, and I guess he was saying in the foreword or whatever that he actually, a lot of these places were places he actually did travel to.
And a lot of them are kind of analogs and allusions to places for the sake of privacy, as they say across the pond.
I hadn't read much of his stuff, but I like with the TV show on now, which I still have to watch. But and I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I figured give it a shot. So there was it's just one Saturday I was out to eat dinner with the family or lunch, and I messaged you and said, "Hey, want to do American Gods?" I said I can run to the bookstore. I'm right by the bookstore.
That's 465 plus, actually, because you got the original text. It's more than 465 pages. But yeah, it's a thick book.
This one's 750.
Yeah. The original one was, not the original, but the original publisher's version was 465 pages. So that's still a pretty thick book.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and before we dive into the book, you've been watching the TV show?
Oh my God. It's okay. So Brian Fuller, I know a lot of people have problems with him, but I'm a huge fan of his since Pushing Daisies. Hannibal was my absolute favorite. Still devastated it got canceled. He has an eye for cinematography. Every single episode of his shows are so beautiful and interesting, and it has rewatchability, which a lot of TV shows nowadays don't have. So I'm a huge fan. He has Gillian Anderson, which I've been a fan of since X-Files, since I was 6. So she is such a chameleon, and the first episode that she appeared in, she played Lucille Ball, obviously a redhead playing a redhead, but she's really good, and that's my favorite part of the show. But everybody else is really great too, and I hear nothing but good things from the critics, which is kind of unusual for a show on Stars. Just not for nothing.
So they captured the essence of the spirit of the book.
Yeah, they've enhanced it. Neil has been working with Brian and giving him some hints and stuff like that. So it's always nice when an author can actually be involved in the TV shows, unless it's Game of Thrones. Then it just pisses everybody off. That's another discussion for another day.
But I saw the Gillian Anderson announcement, and I saw which part she was playing, and after since I was reading the book, I was like, oh man, I got her to play that part.
Yeah. So it's an excellent TV show. I know not everybody has Stars because you'd rather have HBO or whatever it is. But I think Amazon Prime has the rights to the video streaming. I think they're going to wait till all 10 episodes are released, though, before they start.
Well, I think you can... I don't know if you can, but you have to do a monthly subscription thing.
Yeah, it's for the Prime Video.
Yeah, I'm just I would just either to buy the episodes, separately, or just
they might. They have to work it out with iTunes, maybe.
Maybe, or just a season pass. Even if I had to do through Amazon, I don't think you can even do through there. I'm I would just buy a season pass.
Come on, Daniel doesn't have Prime.
What? No.
Get it for her birthday. She'll love you forever. Prime is the best thing ever. This podcast is not sponsored by Prime, by Amazon, but if they want to, we welcome it. But yeah, it's got its differences, but I think the differences make it its own unique thing. You know what I mean? Just like the Hannibal book. Like, it didn't really follow it per se, but they made it its own special thing. So.
But I mean, this book is good. I mean, I picked it up. I was like, 750 pages. I'm like, hopefully I enjoy this, or else it's going to be like a long trudge through. But like, I mean, the book ended good, but I mean, I got towards the end and I was like, it's almost over already. But I enjoyed so much.
How long did it take you to read it?
Maybe 2 weeks, but I mean that's with
kids and work
and weekly Wednesday comics and thrown in there and yeah,
that's about right. The first time that I read it, like I don't know, like when I was rereading it, I remember being like this edgy little teenager. I love this book so much. I still love it, but for different reasons now. Like, I really get, like, the subtle mythology that he used. And some of them are really blatant and obvious, and the other things are really smart and clever. And I don't know. It's just, you can get it's rereadability. Definitely, it has that.
I get to see a 16-year-old little hellfire saying, she swallowed him with what?
Yes. I'm so glad my mom did not read that book before I did. It would have been in the no pile. I just snuck that one right on by her. I was like, oh no, it's kind of sort of like a graphic novel. She's like, okay, whatever.
But I saw like, I don't know if they're talking about the TV show or the book, but like reviewers and stuff saying, oh yeah, it's all filled with all this sex stuff. Besides like 2 or 3 different instances, I didn't think it was really like.
Okay, so Star Wars is owned by Cinemax, which back in the 90s was known as Skinemax. I don't know if it's still known as Skinemax. So they do sex up their TV shows quite a lot.
So what, we get like at least one sex scene every episode then? Or
I think it's like every other episode is what it averages out to. And it is gratuitous, but in a good way to me. I mean, I wouldn't let my little... Like, if I had kids, I wouldn't obviously let them watch it, but as an adult, it's like it's not for kids at all.
No.
So I don't know what everybody's being so like puritanical prudish for.
I mean, yeah, it's in the book, but you say they push it a little more.
Yeah, of course they do.
But yeah, I mean, I love this book because like even when he's in that what's the name of that town? Lakeside, or is that it? Lakeside?
Let me see if I made my notes.
I think so, but like even stuff like that, like I enjoyed like the side stuff on like his Gaiman's writing is so good. I even like that side stuff, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and then we're going back to this God stuff.
And it gives you kind of a Constantine feel too at the same time because we're doing these little road trips across America with an outsider's perspective kind of thing. So I love that. Do you have a favorite character or a couple? Obviously, it's gonna be a couple.
I mean, Shadow interests me, but I don't know. There's so many characters in here.
For me, it's Whiskey Jack, Mad Sweeney. I really loved Samantha the first time that I read it, and then it turned into Laura. So it's like every time I read it, I can like find an appreciation for a different character, and I think that that's a real hallmark of a good writer, because a lot of people, like, you can like Harry Potter, either you like Hermione or you like Ron or you like no, you don't really change your mind about the character that you like with certain books, but with this one you can read and go, oh, okay. Laura
was interesting and intriguing, but the whole book I'm like, is she being manipulative? Is she being,
well, she's a woman, of course she is.
Yeah, but I mean,
say that because I'm a girl.
I mean, just the circumstances of her death, I was just like, oh.
Yeah. Mr. Jackal also grew on me. Like, we didn't get a lot. Like, I don't know. He had a lot of similarities to a lot of other books that of the time that I had read. Mm-hmm. So, and Terry Pratchett, I think Small Gods is one of the things that were kind of similar. They were good friends the way that I understand it. So, that's all good.
I mean, I mean, it's smart writing, but I mean, just in some points, it was just like he really didn't even get specific about like who was the god of what, and
Yeah.
it was just like it's just like the fat kid showed up.
There's also some short stories that serve as sequels. I don't know if anybody's interested, but I think what's the one? The Monarch of the Glen, and then also it's Black Dog, and that one is in Trigger Warning. So, which is just a collection of short stories.
Well, speaking of like short stories, like they're doing multiple seasons of this as a TV show, right?
As far as I know,
so
they're not going to burn through all of the book. I think that's why they only have 10 episodes. I know it's not full 13 because of stars.
Yeah. But I just mean like we get like one chapter in here with what is that, the genie guy and the taxi driver and and the salesman guy, and that was it. All you got was that with that one chapter. But I guess they said they're going to be going into that at least the taxi driver more in the show.
Yeah, you know what? It's only 8 episodes.
So
yeah, so they're not going to burn through all of the book. And I think with the TV show, with a book that's interesting that has so much background, you can do at least 5, 6, 7 seasons easy if you keep the order small and really flesh out the world. And like I said, with Neil Gaiman whispering in Brian Fuller's ear, he can even kind of extend the universe and make that kind of a canonical thing. Because I know a lot of people who are fans of books get real like itchy about things like that.
Yeah, I think they said they're going to get into stuff that they, that he didn't even get into in the book. Like I think they're going to do like flashbacks of like Laura's backstory and stuff. And
yeah, I like this book. I can't recommend it enough. If you have the patience, I always recommend the full edition, just because you get so much more in it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can afford it, or if you have Audible, definitely get the full cast audio version of the 10th anniversary edition. That's the best audiobook version.
I should get that.
If you have an hour's commute to and from work like I do, it'll get you through some tough ones. It'll keep you from jumping out of your car.
I have an hour total, but I can listen to stuff at work too. So
yeah, I recommend that one. I like it a lot. And this book has gotten some awards too. The Hugo Award and the Nebula Award.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you read
the Sandman comic books or no?
No, I've always been meaning to, but between time and money, I've never gotten it. But I keep seeing.
Next time I come up, you can borrow mine and you can just mail it back. How about that?
Okay. We need to discuss when we need a Capes and Lunatics summit this summer.
We do.
Yeah, I keep seeing.
We're all crashing over Tyler's house. We're just gonna camp out in his backyard.
Hell, I got a big backyard. But yeah, no, I keep seeing Sandman the trades on the shelf at Barnes and Noble. I keep meaning to pick them up because everyone I know speaks so highly of them.
Yeah, if you really like this book, I think that's a great. You'll really like the Sandman too. That's
on my must read in the future list, and
Good Omens. If you like this book, you'll really love Good Omens. So it's got a similar flavor.
With the exception of like 1 or 2 issues, I've never read Preacher either.
What? You're hurting my heart, kid.
I want to.
I know there's not enough hours in a day, but you should definitely get around to Preacher eventually. I find that series to be very good. It's a very good story.
I'm getting around to all this the stuff like Sandman and American Gods and Preacher, because back in like the 90s and stuff, like if it wasn't like a white male in like a cape and tights, I was like, I don't need to read that. And now I'm like, what am I missing? Because I mean, just the last couple of years I got into Constantine. I'm just like, what have I missed?
It's so much. It's so much good stuff that is falling through the cracks from the 90s. So we'll get you, between me, Charlie, and Tyler, we'll get you educated.
I have the knowledge. I just need to. I want to read the source material.
Yes, source material is always helpful. Let's see. Do you have a favorite chapter?
Oh, what I thought was really cool. The whole thing with him on the world tree.
Oh, okay.
And even Laura visiting him and everything, and
The house on the rock. Like that whole part.
That was strange, but it was cool.
Trippy.
Oh, you know what?
I have a thing for carousels, though. I do. So
the other cool part is like, I wonder how many people have ever tried this. The whole thing with Wednesday and Mr. Wednesday in front of the bank.
Yeah.
No, just give me your money. I'll put it in.
And you know what? I found a new appreciation for the intangibles. I don't know, like the older this book gets, the more relevant it gets to actual real life, and that's a little scary. It's kind of like 1984, so in that way.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's always the best writing is, stuff that, it's just as relevant now as it was when it was originally written, and
Yep.
The smart
That's why
writers.
George Carlin's my favorite comic.
And the smart writers see where society's going.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So, should we get to our voicemail?
Oh, who's it from?
Of course, it's from our friend Jesse Jackson.
What show is he plugging this week?
Well, I guess he's doing an American Gods podcast, Roadside Attractions.
Roadside Attractions, yes.
So of course he wanted to,
Perfect tie-in. Good choice, sir.
Yes. All right. So everyone, this is Mr. Jesse Jackson. All right.
Hey, this is Jesse Jackson from Roadside Attractions, an American God podcast, also on the Southgate Media Group channel. I love the novel American Gods. I am a major Neil Gaiman fan. The somewhat sequel to American Gods.
Uh-oh.
Hey, this is just
Hold on.
of the novel American Gods.
Sorry.
I am a major Neil Gaiman fan. The somewhat sequel to American Gods, Fantasy Boys, could be my favorite novel of his, though I think that changes every day. American Gods is such a thick, rich novel of discussion of what is belief and how belief affects us, and the idea of a life journey and making decisions. What is a price that you're willing to pay for success and happiness? I love the characters. I especially love Shadow and his journey. I was thrilled when I heard they were going to do an adaptation of the book, and I have loved the TV show. Blatant plug, if you are enjoying the show, please check out the podcast with Wendy, Shannon, Christine, and I discussing the show. End of commercial. I'm looking forward to hearing y'all's discussion of the book. I think it is a modern classic and a truly wonderful read. And like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the book. And hey, in the future, invite me to guest star on a book discussion. That would be fun. Thanks, guys. Once again, this is Jesse Jackson from Dallas, Texas. And happy reading. And may the gods be with you.
Perfect shameless plug. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jesse, we'll definitely have you on here at some point, and don't worry about the shameless plug. We're the master of shameless plug.
Oh, and if you like this book, you should totally watch Supernatural because it has a lot of Neil Gaiman inspiration, whether it's Good Omens or American Gods. It's two brothers rolling around the United States, going from town to town, fighting demons, and they do capture that concept of gods are not as powerful if people don't believe. So I've always found that if you like Neil Gaiman, you might like Supernatural.
That's what
Bill, I know you've never watched it. It's okay.
Tyler's
probably shaking his head like, yes, plug the show.
Well, that's what I said. You and Tyler have to do like a some kind of Supernatural special at some point.
Whenever it gets to 500 episodes, which I know it probably will. It's been on forever. It's been on like almost half my damn life. It's ridiculous. It's like literally American Doctor Who at this point. It's the longest running American sci-fi show. So
they're gonna kill him off and regenerate him.
Well, they have died like a lot. So.
I know, but once they get old enough, they'll bring in new actors.
They're kids.
Yeah.
Spin Next Generation. I've been pitching that forever. Anyway, let's get out of here. But first, not before some shameless plugs.
Of course. See, Jesse, we don't mind shameless plugs. We all about it. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed our discussion. Send us your feedback, and please, any suggestions on any future books we should read.
Good Omens. That's my pitch for next time.
Okay.
It'll just be Neil Gaiman. That's it. That's our book club.
Welcome to the Neil Gaiman Fan Club podcast. But yeah, for anything past that, send in your thoughts, your any suggestions, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. Please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/capesandlunatics. Twitter is @capeslunatics. Instagram, Capes and Lunatics. We even have a Pinterest board, Capes and Lunatics Podcast. And you just heard the great Jesse Jackson. You can hear yourself too on our podcasts. Call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, keep it clean. And Lilith, keep it cleanish. Yeah.
You guys can find me on Twitter, live tweeting all the stuff about DC @Lilith Hellfire. For everything else, go to @Adventures in FG. That's Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook. @Adventures in FG. And be sure to check out my website, adventuresinfangirling.com.
And as for me, if you'd like to get a hold of me, especially if you'd like someone who'd like to be interviewed by our crack team of pop culture experts here on Capes and Lunatics, email me nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. And please follow me, nightwingpdp on Twitter, and follow the Capes and Lunatics Twitter, because once the shows come back, I will be doing live tweeting. Maybe we get some of these other people, like the Supernatural fans, to do some live tweeting. So yeah.
The new guys have mercy on your soul. Because it's only one season of TV that I'm looking forward to, and it's Arrow. Everybody else is kind of disappointed. That's such a reverse from last year.
I know. I was gonna say what?
Season 6 has potential, big potential.
Yeah, because everyone's dead.
So yeah.
All right. So what did you just say? May the gods be with you.
Yeah, may the new guys have mercy on your soul.
And don't make sure never to challenge any of them to a game of checkers. Good night.